Welcome to our ninth and next to last regular session of Choral Insights. Today we're going to talk about choral music, which is actually sung speech, and that's a portion of choral or vocal music that is not often talked about, and that is text. We're going to specifically go into vowels today, but let me talk a little bit more about why text is so important. Well, first of all, text is a symbol system. And text, when language began to be written down, the different ethnicities had to decide whether they would use a symbol for what you were actually talking about, or whether they would use a symbol for the sound of the word that they used. For example, in many Oriental societies, the word table might be done something like this, and they would give you a symbol which would show a table. Well, that's kind of nice and simple, except you have to have a symbol for everything. In most of the European languages and the Western languages, they would use symbols for these actual sounds. And let me show you what I believe, sort of what happened. For example, a B, B. If you will look at a B, and you will look at my mouth, B, hopefully you can see with the two lips, B, that is the shape, a C. K, k. There's the C. An F. I think I can see an F when we pronounce it, and a G where the jaw has to jut out slightly, G, G. There's your jutting jaw. So our languages used symbols for our different sounds. Well, you know, we have two types of sounds, and they are vowels, which produce the beauty of our words, and consonants are mostly before, between, and after vowels, and they give us the actual meaning of the word rather than the beauty of the word. English is a very complex language. I would like to show you with vowels how complex it can be. So if you'll look on the board with me, you'll see that we normally say that the English vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and we say sometimes Y. I say always Y, and I say W is a vowel too. Why do I say that? Well, take O-N. Put an oo sound in front of it, oo-one, and you get a W. A W is an oo sound. Take that same sound and put an E in front of it. Yawn, and you get a Y. So Y's actually are E sounds, and W's actually are oo sounds. They're both actually vowels. We just treat them as consonants. Complex to begin with. Now let's take the letter A, the first vowel that you learned. Well, when we were growing up, we learned, there was long A and short A and long E and short E and long I, short I. Well, that's not true. And let me show you why. Here is a sentence. Many a baby has a tall father. A, two vowels. A, that's going to be a, ah. There are 6 different sounds for A in that one sentence. The only one repeated is when we use twice. Many a baby has a tall ah. Ah. 6 different ways to pronounce it. That's just the A. Then we get into words that can be pronounced a couple of ways. For example, what is this word? You might say bow. But I would say, well, the violinist finished performing, put down his bow, and took a bow. It's two words, pronounced totally differently, that have total different meanings. What is this? Well, people would say it's tear. Except if I were to take a piece of cloth and go like this, they would say it was tear. Same word, different pronunciation, totally different meaning. English is complex. How about vowel combinations? Well, let's take, for example, O-U-G-H. How's it pronounced? Well, you put a B in front of it, and it's bow. Rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the winds blow, the cradles will rock. When the bow. So there's one way to pronounce it. Now that's just the B. Now go to the next syllable, next letter, C. Now it's cough. Ow, aw. Go to the next syllable, D. Now it's dough. In just 3 different consonants, we have 3 different pronunciations for that same combination of words. Think how complex. We look at people and say, why do they have problems with English? It's such an easy language. It is not. It is very difficult. Take EA. How do you pronounce EA? Well, if it's H-E-A-L, it's heal. If you put a TH with it, it's health. Same EA. Okay? Take the E-A-L-T-H. Now here's an E-A and a T-H, and it's breath. We add an E, and it's breathe. Complicated, isn't it? Yeah. Now, let's add something to that. Let's talk about multi-language countries. We're in Canada, we've got French and English. In Switzerland, depends on where you are in Switzerland, what country is near you, what language they speak. How about versions of language? Well, English. Would you not agree that if you heard an Englishman and an American and an Australian speak for any length of time, you'd probably be able to tell which country they're from, even though they're all speaking the same language? Or in the United States, we have dialects. In the Northeast, we have a dialect so that you're going to go to Boston Harbor, you're going to get your car, and in the Deep South, we just drawl, and words are drawn out a lot, and you get to hear every sound of every word, which is kind of cool. And in the Midwest, well, don't you know? You'll know if you got someone from the Midwest pretty quickly too. Those are just dialects within one country, different versions of languages and multi-language countries. So, why would I want to, and I do want to, do the Vivaldi Gloria this Christmas? And why do I want to do it in Latin? Why? That would be difficult, having to learn a whole different language. Not really. Because Latin is the derivation of the Romance languages, and don't get your hopes up, it doesn't mean what you think. The Romance languages would include French and Italian and Spanish. And they're called Romance languages because they are derived from the Roman Latin, hence the term Romance. And in those languages, an A has one pronunciation. Ah, that's it. E, I is an E. O is an A, and U is an U. Once you've learned those 5 vowel sounds, you're ready, as far as vowels are concerned, to speak pretty well, at least liturgical Latin. We are going to be doing the Gloria in excelsis Deo et in terra pax. Oh, a foreign language. I don't use foreign languages. Really? Have you never sung Angels We Have Heard on High? How does the chorus go? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Congratulations, you have spoken Latin just about every Christmas if you've sung that carol. Now let's look and see whether it's true that we use just that. So let's look at those words. G-L, glo, R, E, A, in, e, shall, cease, de, all, e, in, te, la, pax. Glory, you might be able to tell it in excelsis is in the highest to God, deo, et, and, in, terra, earth, pax, peace. It's actually a pretty simple language. And when we do perform it, we will have the English translation in the bulletins, and we will have it projected on the screen also. I would like to just take a moment to say to you that if you would like to join us, beginning in 2 weeks, we will no longer be doing the Choral Insights as an opportunity to learn about music, but instead specifically to learn about the Vivaldi Gloria. And if you would like to join us this Christmas time in singing it, I'll tell you more about that in 2 weeks. You can contact me and I will get you a copy if you do not have one already. Now I know I'm using the Roger Dean edition because that's what I happen to have. But if you have the Walton or the Kalmus or the Schirmer or the Ricordi, they will work because when I'm working on the particular piece, I will give you the measure number. So the page numbers will differ, but the measure numbers will not. Please let me know if you would like to join us, and I will be glad to get you a copy, especially if you live here in the area. If you're one of our choir members that lives up north, I will mail it to you, although it's kind of expensive. And now I thank you for joining me. Next week we will be discussing consonants in English language primarily. And then the following week we will begin working on the Vivaldi Gloria. We will work on that for 12 weeks. I thank you, and please, as you look at the prayer that will be posted in just a moment, we invite you to pray that once again, what I consider probably the most perfect choral prayer there is. Thank you, and stay well.